Hello viewer, hi, welcome to my channel. Like I mentioned in my previous video, this video that I'm going to show all the viewer will be presented in English, not in Mandarin or 普通话 or Chinese. So for this one, because I'm talking about all the zones in China, so I assume most of the viewer will be outside of China, because for this topic, a lot of Chinese they should be very familiar because this whole topic is included in their 9 years compulsory education. So I understand that whatever I'm going to teach you now, they actually put into the textbook required to be read by all the students for their 9 year basic education. So all these zone like special economic zone, all these they are properly introduced to all the students in China when they are young. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. Now today this topic is regarding all the zones in China. I'm quite sure you have heard about all the like special economic zone, free trade zone, free trade port, high-tech zone, all this. So what are the differences and why there are so many of these zones? So using this video, I'm going to introduce most of the zones in China and give you all a better overall view. Now, before I start, I just want to stress that if you heard about, if you understand municipality and zone, they are actually different things. So for all the economic zone or free trade zone, they are not equal to municipality. And for China, there are only 4 municipalities so far. And which are the 4? They are Beijing, Shanghai, Tianjin, and Chongqing. Only these 4. So the rest of the zone that you come across during your business interaction and all this, they are not municipalities. They are actually business zone or a special zone that do not have the same power and function of a municipal. Now, what are the difference between a municipal or municipality and a zone? So for a municipal, there are 4 distinctive functions that the rest of the business zone doesn't have. Number 1, they have a district government. Number 2, they have a district party committee. Number 3, they have a district people congress. And number 4, they have a district CPPCC, which stands for Chinese People Political Consultative Conference. This is more or less an organization or community that can provide ideas and feedback to the People Congress regarding policies and all these things. Okay, so this video is not on municipalities, so I will just stop here. Just remember, zones are different from municipalities. They are totally different concept, and there are only 4 in China. So the rest, I'm going to highlight in the next few slides. Now, how many types of zone, business zone in China? So I'm quite sure you are familiar with FTZ, a free trade zone. I'm sure you're familiar with FTP, which stands for free trade port. They also have something called EDZ, economic development zone, or they also have NA called new areas. Now, furthermore, they also have high technology development zone, or in Chinese they call 高新区. They also have national innovation demonstration zone, or in Chinese is called 示范区. 自主创新示范区. They also have something that all of us are more familiar, is called the IPZ, Industrial Park Zone, 工业园区. Like in Singapore, a lot of people will know that our 苏州工业园区 belong to this category. Of course, there are also another very famous one called the SEZ, which has been mentioned in many newspaper articles. It's called the Special Economic Zone. Special Economic Zone. 经济特区. Now, in addition to all the 8 zone or all the 8 district or 8 business zone that I mentioned, there are also other type of zone which is not so popular, but they do exist in China. One is called BA, bonded areas. The other one is called tourist resort areas. So for example, if you go to Hainan Sanya, that whole certain part of the Sanya city county in Hainan province is being zoned as a tourist resort areas. So these are also special development zone that the local government developed to promote tourism. They also have something called the National Reserve Areas, 生态保护区. So these three areas, these three zones I will not cover because it's not so relevant to business and it's also not very common or directly you can roughly understand what is the main objective of setting up this zone. So I will not cover these three. I will go into details for the first 8 zones that I mentioned just now. Now, the next slide will be why China set up so many zones. All kind of zone is quite confusing. So basically, there are five objectives. Number one, they wanted to promote economic development. Number two, they want to ensure that these zones has administrative flexibility, so they can turn around things faster, they can react faster, they can implement things faster. Number three, local autonomy, meaning they can decide something on their own. They don't have to everything go and consult the provincial government or the state government. Number four, they can have a more faster and focused management team. A lot of all these zones, they are managed by a management committee. So there are professional management team involved to regulate or govern this sort of zone to ensure that the company operating this zone receive a very focused and specialized service. Number five, within this zone, they always introduce conducive policies such as tax benefit. The first 2 years is free, the next 3 years is half, or special lower corporate tax like 15%, lower tax for personal like 15%. They do implement in some of these zones. So let's go to the first zone, which is called the free trade zone. The main objective of a free trade zone, like the name implies, is to promote trades. So far, up to June 2025, China has 22 free trade zones. And this whole zone, the implementation of this zone actually started in 2013, starting with Shanghai Free Trade Zone. All these 22 free trade zones in China actually occupied 4% of the total land area in China. But the contribution of these free trade zones are very high. They actually attract or bring in, or out of all the FDI into China, 18% of foreign direct investment go into this zone. And of course, because they offer all the tax benefit like lower corporate tax rate, lower tariff and all these things. So these are some of the reasons why free trade zone are very successful. Now, just give you an example, the Shanghai Free Trade Zone, the value of the import and export, the value in US dollar term is around 90% of Singapore GDP. So you can see the significant contribution to China economy by all these 22 free trade zones. Now the next one, of course, recently is quite common and popular because it has been mentioned so many times in the newspaper since 18 December 2025, which is the Hainan Free Trade Port. So strictly speaking, there are only one free trade port in China, which is Hainan Free Trade Port. Macau and Hong Kong also consider a free trade port, but they are more or less under different administrative framework, so we will exclude that. So strictly speaking, for China itself, it's only one free trade port, and for Hainan Free Trade Port, I will do another video to give a more in-depth analysis and the impact on Singapore and whatsoever. The next zone that I want to talk about will be the economic development zone. Now, this one in Chinese is called 经济开发区. Mainly is to promote economic activities and integration. So up to 2024, the whole China, there are actually 233 of them. And these 233 economic development zones, they are located in 31 provinces out of the 34 provinces. And in total, they contributed to 12.5% of China GDP for the year 2024. And for FDI, they actually helped to bring in 23.4% of FDI in the year 2024. Of course, all this growth and all these impressive figures are also made possible by very good tax benefit that the government or the local provincial government provided to all the company operating in this economic zone. So the next zone that I'm going to focus will be called the new areas. It's called Xinqu. Recently, you also heard of there are some mention. Not many Xinqu are there in China, and the key objective of this Xinqu is to promote the key economic development requirement of China. So these are on a national level considered very critically important, and most of the key economic development they actually implemented in all these new areas. Now up to 2024, the whole China there are 19 new areas. I'm quite sure you heard about Tianjin Binhai Xinqu, Xiong'an Xinqu in Hebei province, etc. Now, so how about the location of these new areas, new Xinqu? Actually, Chinese government has spread them out all over China. In the eastern part of China, there are 8 new areas. Central part, there are 2. Western part, there are 6 of them. And in the northeast side of China, there are 3. So all these 19 new areas actually are located in 12 provinces of China out of the 34 provinces of China. And in terms of contribution, all these new areas has 0.2% of the China total population. But in terms of contribution to China GDP, they actually contributed 5% to the China GDP. So from here you can see the concentration of a lot of economic key development implemented by the Chinese government are heavily channeled or focused on all these new areas. That's the reason why with such a low population base in all these 19 new areas, they are able to contribute to 5% of China GDP. The next one, the next zone that I'm going to talk about is high technology development zone, or in Chinese called 高新开发区. Of course, as the name implies, this is to promote investment in high tech. And up to the year 2025, there are altogether 178 of them. And all these 178 spread over 31 provinces. In terms of contribution to China GDP, 14% of China GDP up to 2024, for the year 2024, come from this high-tech zone, or in Chinese called 高新区. Now, if we zoom further into this high-tech zone, the whole China, 33% of high-tech companies are located in this 高新区 or high technology development zone. And 67% of the unicorn in China are also located in this zone. And among all the companies operating in this zone, 60% or 60% of the high-tech company listed in China actually operated in one of these zones. Now, of all the patents filed by China on a yearly basis, 50% of the patent actually originated from all these 178 high technology development zones. So from here you can see the contribution of this zone to the China innovative economic activities and to power them further in the area of high-tech development. The next zone that I want to talk about is more for demonstration and incubation purpose. So this is called the National Innovation Demonstration Zone. They actually wanted to use this zone to allow demonstration, display of key technology breakthrough, key technology product, commercialization of all this hard work, so that the company that produce all this wonderful product can see commercial benefit. So altogether, the whole China, there are 23 of this kind of demonstration zone, and the main objective is for technology incubation and allow high-tech company to reap commercial benefit from their invention, from their innovative idea. This kind of zone started in China in the year 2009, and all the GDP contribution from this zone is being blended into the high-tech zone. So like I mentioned just now, high-tech zone contributed 14% of China's GDP. So part of it come from this National Innovation Demonstration Zone. The next one we're going to talk about will be Industrial Park Zone. A lot of people might not know, like for example, Singapore Suzhou Industrial Park belong to this category. Actually, there are quite a lot of this industrial park zone in China. Up to 2024, there are more than 80,000 of this industrial park in China. And of course, like the name implies, the main thing for this industrial park or the zoning of this industrial park is to promote manufacturing and industrial activities. So a very good example for this industrial park will be Singapore Suzhou Industrial Park. And for the year 2025, the GDP of Suzhou Industrial Park is close to renminbi 400 billion. And Suzhou Industrial Park has been ranked among the top industrial park in China for many years, and usually in the top 5 or top 10. So this industrial park is basically to contribute to the manufacturing industrial capabilities of China to ensure better integration, better supply chain management within the same industrial park for all kind of manufacturing activities. Now, the last one that we're going to talk about is called the 经济特区 or the Special Economic Zone. Up to now, there are 7 of them. And this policy, this creation of this Special Economic Zone started in the year 1980. So which are the 7 of them? We have Shenzhen, we have Zhuhai, we have Xiamen, we have Shantou, we have Hainan, and 2 in Xinjiang. All these, of course, a key performer is Shenzhen, and Shantou is less well known, but is catching up because Shantou in the past they have some tax issue. So it actually, some research paper actually said that because of that, it actually slowed down the economic development in Shantou. Likewise for Hainan, because of the property crisis in the 1990s and all this. But again, all these special economic zones are very important to China GDP, and the contribution to China is significant. And all this is made possible by all kind of tax benefit like lower personal tax, lower corporate tax, or some of them even have tax exemption for the first 2 years, first 3 years, or 50% tax discount. Now we just use one example, just look at Shenzhen alone. Now the GDP of Shenzhen since 1980 to 2024, the year-on-year growth is 18.8%. This is a very significant achievement and contribution to the China economy. Now we are coming to the end of our video today. I hope that you have a better understanding of all the zones, the economic zone, high-tech zone in China. And in order to motivate my effort, help me to produce more useful video, I hope you can subscribe to my videos and look out for the next video that I'm going to produce, and hopefully all the information that you learn from my videos can help in your business or personal decision. Thank you very much for watching, viewer. Thank you again. Thank you.